Okay, so last night we figured out I presented a basic payment function. So I went back and I revamped that pay for service method. And you can see it right here. It checks the sender, it checks that everything's been done in order. And what I did is I do have a test that the message value is the contract cost. And then what I do is I have this. If it's not, then I'm going to have a message and I'm going to revert, and then I'll do the transfer. And the transfer is going to be input up here as the value and should be in ether. We're going to switch to our network here. Okay, so let's go. We first have to deploy it. And fortunately, well, we're going to have to change the this here. And go back to, so hopefully this will, and it creates the contract. And now we have our contract and the provider approves it. Then we switch to the customer and they're going to approve the contract. Got to approve the contract before you perform the service. And go back to the provider and move this up a little bit, because perform the service. And we've done this before. Now the key thing here is we're going to go back and approve the service. And now we're going to pay for the service. So we're going to set it to ether. You can set it to ether away. And all we do is this, because it's a red button. That's an important thing to know. Again, red means that you have to put something here, a value, and that's what's going to be used to move ether between wallets. So, what did it not want? Now it was just working. See, it says it's the wrong amount. So what do we have for our amount? It said 10. It may assume its way. So let's try it again. And there you go. I had it in the wrong thing when I deployed it, I think. But you can see it shows the transaction, it shows the logs from and to, and you're not going to see much of a difference here, because I did it in a way to really see it. Let's try it. Let's deploy the contract again, but this time we have it set to way. So hopefully that'll do what we want. And we'll deploy the contract again, and now we'll go through the process. Okay, he's now the provider, so he's going to approve the contract. And let's clear the log out. Let's make the next person then the payee, and they're going to approve. Oh, no, that's not going to work. All right, we have to do this again, because what I want is this guy now to be the payee. we're going to go back here and clear the log and deploy it. Okay, so I deployed it. The person who deployed it, who will now be the provider, is this. And now they're going to approve the contract. The customer is going to approve the contract. Then the provider is going to provide the service, perform the service. The customer is going to approve this. Oh, went back to way. Well, that's okay. We could they're going to approve the service, and now they got to pay for the service. Now let me just do a quick so we're going to have 10 ether. Oh, it's going to be set to 10 way. Okay, I think for you to really see it, I want to do it one more time. Let's delete that. Let's put this back to ether. And we're going to go back up here and clear this, do it again. Okay, we know we're in ether now, and hopefully this will work. So we got to perform the service, then we gotta approve the service, and now I have to put 10 ether in here. And as you can see, this guy is 99, this guy is 89, and we're going to pay for the service. What's in it like? Okay, so this is going to want yeah, I have my units wrong. There you go. You're not going to be able to see much because the units are so tiny. I wonder if I could change. No. But you get the idea. My guess is I need to tell it. Actually, yeah, what you can do is see message.value if it has to know that they match. So that maybe I need to do something about. We have to get the units right. But you can see when I did give it 10 way that it liked that. So you know, that the other thing I could do here is there's got to be a way to tell what unit the value is in, and then do a conversion. But you can see that now this function, because I am doing it correctly in terms of I'm making it payable, I am taking the value that's put in by the sender. And this, if you send stuff, or you play with blockchains, you know that you're giving it a value when you make your transaction. Now this is very interesting. It's something I learned. There is no built-in conversion function from from integer to string. This is another thing that'll be interesting to get. This is a method I found online, but it uses a library called string.sol, and string.sol I have not yet been able to get it to work. But the idea is, the whole point is that in Solidity they do not yet have string conversion, or to go from integer to string or string to integer, which is very easy to do in most programming language. I was very surprised to see that you had to actually not just write a manual well, you don't need it. This is the manual function to do the conversion, but the other thing it doesn't have is really a string way of handling strings well, like this. To do the concatenation, you use this string library. Let me bring it up here. It's called, this is an issue. It has a different, so you start it, if it's a library, you start it with library. I think this is the problem. This should be changed to be the match. But we're going to play with it, and this has a bunch of string functions in it that people use because it's not built into default default Solidity. So that was another interesting thing I ran into, just trying to write a proper error message. As you see, the error message did behave as expected. It told us that it wasn't going to work because we didn't have the right version. But you can see this is 90 here, and let's see if we get another one. No, I cleared it out. But it says value and balance. So you gotta address that, and that I think you have to be careful with that, because especially you can probably handle it in the D app. So the user won't care, they won't see it, but it could be a source of confusion going between these different, way and ether. I don't know why they do it that way. It is what it is. Maybe to avoid floating point numbers, that would make it more expensive in terms of resources. Remember, every time you do something, it costs resources, it costs gas. And here you see 41, that's the, let's see, approved service. Let's look at this. See, it's a much less costly function. So this is why I think they do it the way they do it. I mean, you can tell it's way or Ethereum, but my guess is if you use way, it's probably cheaper. I could be wrong, but that's kind of my thought on there. We'll have to get a definitive answer. Anyway, if this has been helpful, please subscribe. Please give a like. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell. To get notifications, and please tell your friends who might be interested. And I will speak to you next time.